வணக்கம். இது ஸ்டோரிஸ் வித் செல்வி. உங்களுடன் தாமரை செல்வி.
வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கேட்க போறது சஸ்பென்ஸ் நிறைஞ்ச ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் த்ரில்லர், Havoc Says Hi. வாங்க கதைக்குள்ள போகலாம்.
Chapter 37. Breaking the Code. Our exams successfully met their end. Once again, the boring lecturers' hypnotic lectures took the students to their dream universe. For me, I just read the books on psychology, which I kept under the desk while the lecturer was busy thinking we were listening to them. I was fascinated by the idea, usage of computer science in conjunction with psychology. It was a brilliant notion. The bell rang. I closed my book under the desk and kept it inside my bag. Since Eshwar didn't come to college that day, I had to drive alone. I made my way downstairs and walked towards the parking lot where my RX 100 stands. PJ? Someone called me from behind. The voice was feeble and I scarcely identified my name when I heard it. Ritu was standing there, holding her college bag in her hand. Her eyes were tired from the dark circles she had under her eyes. I could make it out that she had not slept well for the past few days. There was something wrong with her. I didn't want to hit around the bush trying to find the snake. I just ignored the formalities and asked her the first question which arose in my mind. What happened? Can we talk a bit private? She pleaded with her eyes. I felt really bad seeing her like that, helpless and scared. I didn't say anything. I guided her towards our classroom. Everyone had left the room. We were alone standing inside the classroom. The cleaners and sweepers would not be there at least for another 2 hours. I stood there and waited for her to open up. She began to weep. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I stood there watching her cry herself out. After some time, I asked her, "Tell me, what happened?" She collected herself and looked at me. "Rajiv from 4th year is blackmailing me," she paused. I didn't interrupt. Instead, I just kept looking at her, waiting for her to finish. I went to symposium with my classmates. Rajiv had followed us there. When we were changing our dress, he had taken a few snaps of me from the gap in the door. He is blackmailing me to come to his building alone. And I don't want to go. He has given me 3 days time to decide. And if I don't accept it, then he would mail the photos to his friends. She began to cry and tears were flowing like it doesn't have an end. Only thing I was not able to handle was her tears. I shivered a bit but pulled all my strength to get myself out of the emotional state where I was after seeing her like that. "I will take care of it," I firmly said. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I will take care of it," I repeated with anger dripping inside me for every tear she dropped. I felt bad that those tears were because of some perverted jerk. The next day, Rajiv was sitting in the canteen all alone. I waited for him to be alone since morning, but just now I got the chance. Once I was sure we won't be disturbed for at least the next 30 minutes, I walked towards him. I crossed him and went to the canteen counter. I ordered 2 aloo parathas there. Rajiv gave me suspicious looks. We never had anything in common. More than that, he despised me for stealing his thunder under the football match. He was confused on why I was ordering 2, while I was the only one there. I got the 2 plates from the service counter and walked towards the table where Rajiv was there. I sat opposite to him. He looked at me with caution. I pushed the plate to his side and began to eat from my plate. "What's this?" he asked arrogantly in anger mixed with confusion. "A peace offering," I blankly said while continuing to eat. "There can never be peace between us. You shamed me before my team," he shouted. "Yes, and I'm sorry about that," I replied, keeping my eyes soft and pleading. He didn't expect that from me. He expected me to shout back at him, but I was playing a different card for the day. "You were my hero during our school days. No one could score the goal like you do. I learned from you. If you had observed my moves, you could have known that I just mimicked yours," I said. He became silent. He kept staring at me. "I want the Cold War between us to end. I want to learn from you," I said. "I don't know about that. You're still an enemy to me. How can you change it?" He didn't know how he was supposed to react. He was moved by my words when I touched his ego by saying he was my master. But he couldn't give in so fast thanks to his pride. So he had added a question along with his sentence. "I can change it by showing you my uttermost respect," I replied. He shoved his hands in rejections to my response. I continued. "I know you have applied for revaluation. One of my friends got hold of the location list where the papers had been sent. I said in a low voice, looking around to see if anyone was seeing. He leaned forward and asked, "What?" I ignored his question. "If you can talk to the person who is going to reevaluate the paper, you could pass for certain. I can send his number to you tonight, but don't tell anyone, okay?" I said. "That's paper chasing," he howled in a low voice. Seeing the surprise and excitement in his voice, I smiled and said, "Yeah, it is." He gave me a warm smile, which contained gratitude for my never going to happen help. "Sure, bro, if you do so." "Sure, bro, if you do so, I will take you into our gang." The enmity in his voice vanished into thin air and there was a wicked smile in his face. My email ID is rajiv_superstar@yahoo.co.in. I noted it down in my notebook and began to talk casually. "Seriously, bro, how do people set their passwords?" I exclaimed out of the blue. He was a caveman when it came to computers, but still I asked him this question to root him towards my trap. He was happy that I asked him such an intellectual question. "Don't keep names or date of birth," he said. "Keep something like a complex word. Take a dictionary and open a random page and find the word which is really complex for you. Use the words as your passwords. Change your password every 15 to 20 days. It is very safe, man," he replied. I said, "Oh, that's an answer." He smiled at me with the mouth where he had stuffed the parathas I had given him. I said bye to him and moved away from the bench with his mobile in my pocket. I slipped the mobile from the bench to my pocket when he was busy bragging about his intellect. The campus was filled with news about a mail which spread across mailboxes like wildfire. Rajiv was irritated and was searching for me in my class while I was lying on the college terrace under the cover of the blue sky and watching everything. Ritu called me. "Vijay?" She was accustomed to my name that it came out of her mouth without any effort. I got up and stood. "Thanks a lot. I think you have sorted it out," she thanked me. "Yeah, everything is over," I said, giving her confidence. She came closer to me. We had a hand-length gap between us. I could smell her fragrance. She smelled like a strawberry. "How did you do it?" she asked. I looked at her, moving a step back from her, and asked, "Do you really want to know?" "Yes," she replied in her soft voice. "Okay," I said. "He has a habit of taking complex words from dictionary for mail passwords. There could be only one way he had remembered those words. He must have stored it in his mobile, the same mobile which was used to take photos of you while you were unaware." I slipped his mobile from him and the password was there in his draft message. I logged into his inbox and deleted the mail and all the photos from his mobile. I finished narrating the incident. "What about the nude guy pic which is circulating around the campus?" She smiled with a few teardrops in her eyes. "Reapers of the sins," I smiled. She laughed at what I said. There was freedom in it. She was constrained by nothing free as the air. She was beautiful that way. Her smile was intoxicating. If I had stayed a moment, I would have to hug her. I left the place swiftly without saying bye to her. The thing which was growing inside me and her scared me out of my wits. But I liked it badly. She stood there looking at me without knowing what had happened.
இந்த பதிவு உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா மறக்காம லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. என்னோட பதிவுகளை உடனுக்குடனே தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காக பெல் பட்டனையும் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. மீண்டும் அடுத்த அத்தியாயத்தில் சந்திப்போம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.